Let's get ready to review some Bakugan! That's right, brawlers, it's BakuBrad96 here with a continuation of my Bakugan Evolutions collection. This time I will be taking a look at VENTUS, and I'm going to start off with Trox, because he rocks! So first off is, of course, the Genesis version, so Genesis Trox. It has a blue shield and a regular shield core, B power of 600, with 9 damage. So definitely a damage heavy dinosaur. Really awesome and a great design as well. I will go ahead and pick this one out for you all to see. So just like my other reviews, I will show off the stats, talk about that briefly, and then showcase the figure. There is a lot to go through, and I don't want things to ever be too boring. I know some collection reviews can get like that, and I want to keep things as positive and vibing as possible. So here is the Genesis Trox. A ton of detail, and honestly, just the whole design, the way the Bakugan works, the mechanisms and everything. Probably one of my favorite, but of course I say that all the time because I think Spin Master does an excellent job with Trox just as a character and as a Bakugan. They have, like, every year so far, Trox's designs have really stood out, at least in my opinion. So there is the Genesis Trox. Next up is Platinum Trox. So this one is a double helix, B power of 900 with 4 damage. So once again, not bad at all. Not as much damage as the Genesis version, but a lot of B power, and of course having access to helix core makes it even better. Once again though, an amazing design. And I do have quite a few Platinum Troxes, so first off I will show the Diamond. And for those of you who don't know, I think it's really cool, and I will get to that, but it does have manual arms, and as I was saying, Neo Trox came in a Platinum Diamond and a regular Diamond, so you do have a Platinum Diamond Neo Trox and a regular Platinum, or just Diamond Neo Trox. So I think that is really interesting. Much like Colossus, you had a Diamond version of both, but once again, amazing design. Definitely stands out, looks just like Trox, and just a lot of detail not only in the figure's design, but as well as paintwork. Just another reason why Trox stands out so much. And what did I say? Trox rocks. So for the regular version, it is the darker green, and I have it right here. So for the regular Platinum, they did use the emerald green plastic, which I think looks absolutely stunning. Just VENTUS, really great this year with the new design work. I just think is really cool. As a faction, probably with the recolors, my favorite. I think it got the best redo. Of course, that's my opinion. I would definitely like to hear what you all think. So feel free to join the Discord server. And let me know, or just let me know in the comments down below. Now for the regular Neo Trox, here is the Diamond. And it does still have the same little arm pieces, which are so hard to pull out. Because, well, hard to see, at least from my point of view, because I'm looking through the camera. So I'm seeing pretty much what all of you are seeing, and it is kind of hard to find the little arms and fold them out. But here is the regular Diamond Neo Trox. I know it can be a bit confusing, but this is the one that does not have any die-cast metal, so it is just a straight translucent plastic Bakugan. Again, phenomenal design. Obviously it's the same design, I've showed you twice now, but the paint job, it is a little different, which makes that really awesome. And again, very detailed work nonetheless. And I do have the regular one, but as I look and I try to memorize the patterns of all the Trox, it's not as easy as I thought it would, but found it. I probably should do these reviews a little differently rather than having them all piled up, but it makes for a good thumbnail in my opinion, and just, I guess, easier convenience. What can I say? Here is the regular Neo Trox. I have a ton of Trox now that I realize that. Here is the stats for the Neotrox. So it has a green fist and a red fist core, B power of 800 with 5 damage. Solid Ventus Bakugan, but definitely in the vanilla category in terms of competitiveness. Next up is, believe it or not, just the regular Trox. So still a ton of Trox to come. Double Helix, B power of 707 damage. So more on the higher end of vanilla Bakugan with a +6, -3, you know, you're going to get to 1300 B power and only 4 damage, which isn't too bad. It's not too great. You definitely have options though, and it just makes Trox versatile. Paired with other factions, he probably does a ton better. You know, if you use him with Damage Winds and Pyrus, this 7 is a lot bigger of a deal. Trust me. And then for the, well, no, that's the wrong one. Or is it the right one? No, it's the wrong one. So I almost got it mixed up. But the regular Trox for evolutions did reuse the Armored Alliance mold. So here is Chunkysaurus, as I like to refer to it. A good amount of detail, a ton of paint, honestly. A lot more than I've seen on a lot of core Bakugan. So I did like that about the this one in particular. And not a bad amount of detail either for a core Bakugan as well. And then the final Trox, I promise, is the Mythic variant. Of course, these did release in evolutions. There's the little symbol there at the corner. It is a double shield Bakugan, B power of 702 damage with built-in reroll. I love that about the first wave of Mythics, I guess. They all have a built-in reroll, at least the ones in the Mythic Battle Box. But if this Trox lands on a regular shield, it does get to add another Baku core from the matrix or field to itself, which is really nice. And honestly, it makes the Battle Planet Trox a lot better. That was the point of the Mythic releases, kind of giving you a reprint or a redo of the Battle Planet Classics that everyone I'm sure likes. At this point, going into year 5, definitely nostalgic. And then, of course, they did use the Battle Planet Trox with the new Evolutions colors, which I know the normal wave of Mythics is translucent, not in my state. Luckily, though, for me, I have a ton of Baku crew members that have worked out a good amount of trades, so I am getting a ton of those translucent Mythics, excuse me, and I couldn't be happier about it. So, guys, you know who you are. Thank you both. Really awesome. Honestly, thank you all, because I've had a ton of trades now. Jay, I'm still working on that fusion deck with the original Darkest Enoch and its Evos. I'm just having a hard time, but I am getting there. So here is the Trox before I get too sidetracked. Up next is Ultra Serpilius. So the cool thing about this Ventus Serpilius, or I guess kind of the bad thing, is it only released in Diamond. So that was the only way to get a Ventus Serpilius from Evolutions. And I thought that kind of stunk. You know, I would have liked to have seen what a regular one looked like with the new colors. But Diamond's a diamond. Anyways, Serpilius has a Helix and a Green Fist core. B power of 600 with 3 damage. And if it lands on a Helix, it gets an extra plus 300 boost. So if you don't want to have any damage at all and you just want to win, maybe to get a team attack going or just to win the brawl, you can use a plus 600 and a -3, and that'll put you at 1500 B power and 0 damage. So obviously not the best. I would go ahead and use the +5 -1, so you at least get 2 damage going through, and you're really losing only 100 B power. And hey, artwork, really cool. Not as cool as the Geogun Rising artwork. I like the original, I guess, better. But here is the Diamond Ventus Serpilius. So Serpilius, really interesting. It got the Diamond in Evolutions, and it got an Elemental in Geogun Rising. So just a little interesting fact there. But a really cool looking diamond, a lot of paint, so you do miss out on a little bit of the translucent plastic. Obviously it's there and you can see it, but they did take the time to detail out a lot of the wings, the underbelly even, and it's not a bad detail either. Like, the paint is really good. Even the head, I'll try to zoom in a little better. Well, no, almost had it. There we go. So even the head has really good paint work. Just the details of the gold there on the spines. Very nicely done. Honestly, just a really crisp, clean, solid diamond. And I like that. When you get a diamond, you don't want it to be messed up or mispainted. I have found a few of those, and they are awful. Moving on with the review, it is Ultra Gilator, double shield, B power of 400 with 6 damage. And if it lands on a regular shield, you are going to be stealing the opposing Bakugan's Bakucore. What a powerful effect for a older Bakugan that did get, I think this is a reprint because I think there was an AA Ventus Gilator, but I can't remember. I could be totally wrong. Either way, it is pretty interesting. The B power is a bit lower, but when you're stealing the opponent's Bakucore, you're thinking in terms of base B power. At least that's what I do. So, I mean, it's possible, but honestly, Evolutions has a lot more better Ventus Bakugan, some of which I will be getting into in this review. But I do want to show the Ventus Gilator, of course. So, manual front claws or feet, and then hind feet, which I think it's really cool. Again, the paint job, the claws have been painted red, but there's no other red on the Bakugan other than the Ventus symbol. So it just makes them stand out and pop a little more. I think it looks really cool. Honestly, Gilator just has a really neat design in general. It was one of the new Bakugan released in Armored Alliance, and I know everyone was happy to see the new figures, new characters, and new molds. And speaking of that, everyone is hoping for the same thing with Bakugan Legends, because as of now, it is a ton of reprints. I don't mind, but I'm with everyone else. Let's get some new characters, some new designs, and new Bakugan. I mean, the Legacy series had hundreds and hundreds of characters. I definitely want to see the reboot have the same. We just all have to have faith in Spin Master, I suppose. Moving forward, it is Blitzfox, double shield, B power of 600 with 4 damage, and if this Bakugan lands on a regular shield, it gets to remove the opposing Bakugan's Bakucore and place it back on the field. So not as strong as stealing the core, but still decent enough. Like I said with Gilator, though, there is just simply better options. So I think this Blitzfox is overlooked quite a bit. Figure-wise, though, really nice. That's a Sectonoid. Here we go. I think the Ventus Blitz has a very good paint job and a ton of detail. The face, epic line work. There's no smudges whatsoever. The way the yellow is used for the ears, and again, the claws, just makes it pop that much more. Red on the back of the tails, really cool. And then, of course, on the sides. And a neat design, again, really cool design with Blitzfox. Moving forward, though, one of those better options I was mentioning is this beast right here. So the Platinum Blitzfox, probably one of the strongest. It is the best Ventus Bakugan in my opinion. Probably one of the strongest Bakugan to come out of Evolutions. And it has double core or double regular shield, B power of 500 and 4 damage. That's all. But if it lands on a regular shield, it gets plus 1000 B power. Now this is huge because you can use a Ventus and plus, whatever faction for 400, and you get up to 1900 B power, which that's right up there with Genesis Nihilus, and people think Genesis Nihilus is crazy. So outside of some of the new Bakugan and Bakugan Legends, mainly that Nova Ventus Pegatrix because it's crazy. But this, one of the strongest, so very good. If you have the opportunity to pick up that Battle Strike pack, I think it has Arliss Stingzer in it. Definitely get yourself a Platinum Blitzfox if you want any kind of competitive Bakugan for the Pro TCG. Yeah, it is just really solid and really awesome. because the figure, even though mine doesn't have the best magnet, they did go with the silver for the die-cast metal, which is really cool because it makes that lime green translucent plastic stand out in contrast. A little bit of lime green plastic there for the middle piece. So really cool. I just think it's a neat platinum. I think it's the only Ventus platinum that has silver as the die-cast metal, but I could be wrong, but at least in my collection, it is the only one. Now, the second best Ventus Bakugan, in my opinion, from Evolutions is the core Pegatrix. So, double Green Fist B power of 600 with 3 damage. And if you land on a Green Fist with it, you get plus 1000 B power, putting it up to potentially 1700 or 1750, depending on the core. And that, again, is really good. So, I think 14 to 15, 16 is like your middle average range for good Bakugan, you know. And then, 16 up or 17 up in B power, that's where you start getting into like OP combos and just really strong, like Bakugan everyone wants to see. Unless you're running like Evos or a different kind of strategy, but I'm just talking in terms of base B power. So yeah, Pegatrix, another solid option. Unfortunately, I don't remember what set this comes in. I'm not even going to lie and pretend like I do. I don't remember. But anyway, it is another good Bakugan to potentially pick up. And here we are. Once again, reusing the Armored Alliance mold, but it's all good. Going on with Platinum Warrior Whale, Red Fist and a Green Fist core, B power of 600 with 7 damage. Not bad at all. But once again, another vanilla Bakugan. So this video is not too long. I'm going to go ahead and kind of rush through these next few. I do apologize, but I do try to keep these videos shortened up, not only so I can record a good bit at the same time and conserve storage, but just so it doesn't drag on. So now then, Platinum Grizzwing has a regular fist, red fist core, B power of 308 damage. I have been sleeping on this Bakugan myself, but personally I think it has a ton of potential. On a red fist, you get to add a Bakucore. On a green fist, you remove a Bakucore. So really good effects, versatile, ton of options. Paired with a Nanogon, you don't have to worry, and really 8 damage. Crazy. So where is the Grizzwing? Here it is. Here is Ventus Platinum Grizzwing, which is really cool. It kind of has reversed the normal, I guess, Platinums, or I guess the normal core Bakugan. The lighter green is the die-cast metal, and then the secondary darker green makes up a majority of the Bakugan. So that makes Platinum Grizzwing really cool. And honestly, now, Grizzwing has a cool design. Again, I really like the new characters, the introduction of new characters. It is so cool. Next up, though, is Ultra Enoch, a Flaming Fist and a Blue Shield, B power of 600 with 8 damage. Not too bad. You know, if I could pick them out of the little pile, and you would think I would know what they look like by now, but I do not know. So here is Ventus Enoch. The only manual pieces are the horns. Here we go. So happy I found the darkest diamond. So cool. After that is Colossus, Red Fist and a Helix, B power of 900 with 3 damage. And then interesting enough, Victor, so if you win the brawl, you get to remove a Bakucore. I guess that kind of negates any setup your opponent is doing, or weakens a potential team attack coming your way, which is really nice. And oddly enough, we did not get a Platinum Ventus Colossus. I think we almost got a Platinum Colossus of, if we didn't, I think we did, except for Arliss and Ventus. So here is the core Colossus, the Turtle of Evolutions. Next up, Neo Dragonoid, double red fist, B power of 700 with 5 damage. And yes, this isn't a misprint. This is actually the Neo Dragonoid. and not the Evo one. Here we go. And the only manual piece on this Dragonoid is the horn. But again, a really cool job done, cool design, and really neat that the waist piece is manual to a point, so you can kind of fold the Bakugan out more. Even though it doesn't stand up like that, it is interesting that you get a more of a wider stance. So cool. And next, Platinum Dragonoid. Double Helix, B power of 900 with 4 damage. So not bad at all. You could use a +6, -3, end up with 1500 and 1 damage. You know, that's solid. That is not bad at all. Here is the Platinum Dragonoid. Once again with the lighter green being the die-cast metal, and the darker green taking over the majority of the Bakugan, which is really, really nice. I would have liked to have seen a Bakugan that was completely this dark green, instead of a mix between the lighter green, the translucent green, etc. And the Elemental Sectonoid, or regular Sectonoid. I do have both. Really cool. This was the only Ventus Elemental this year. Double Flaming Fist, B power of 1000 with 2 damage. So it is one of those Bakugan that has a very good amount of base B power. So potential, possibly, but the core lineup is interesting with that B power, because you would only be able to get up to 1250. So not sure there. You definitely want to balance out your right cards and Nanogon combos, but still a ton of potential in my opinion. Shout out to HM as if I can get them open, release the Swarm. Here is the regular core version of Core Sectonoid, and then the Elemental. So not as dark as the Elemental Serpilius, and unfortunately the Elemental camouflage pattern is harder to make out on the lime green. It is there. So Elemental Sectonoid definitely a lot lighter than the Elemental Serpilius. Next up is the Platinum Sectonoid. So a regular shield and a blue shield, B power of 1000 with 7 damage. On a blue shield you get to add a Bakucore, and then on a regular shield you get to remove a Bakucore. So once again, a ton of potential, and once evolved with the Diamond Evo, it is even stronger. So very nice. And I do have not only the Diamond Platinum, once again the Swarm is released. Here is the regular Platinum, kind of a side-by-side review. I definitely have collected the Ventus Swarm for sure. I am missing a few other factions. And earlier, when I reviewed Platinum Warrior Whale, I showed the Platinum Sharktar. So I guess now that I'll show the Platinum Sharktar, I will show the Warrior Whale. That's my mistake, and I didn't even notice. Trying to go through a video, and I completely goofed like that. So double blue shield, B power of 800 with 5 damage. And Warrior Whale is really cool because once again, we have that darker green translucent plastic. So Warrior Whale looks really nice. Ton of Bakugan here on the table. They take up a lot more space when they're opened. Ventus Nelius, double regular core green fist, B power of 700 and 2 damage. On a fist, you get to remove a Bakucore. So once again, just an iffy Ventus Bakugan. And using the Geogun Rising mold of the Cornelius. Next I have Hydrus, so blue shield and helix, B power of 900 with 1 damage. Certainly makes it one of the stronger Ventus Bakugan in my collection, and I really like Hydrus, so had to pick it up. And the AA core once again, so Evolutions definitely had a thing for going back and reusing Armored Alliance, which I don't have a problem with that because I did miss a ton of those designs and molds the first time around. And what's a review without a Cubbo? Here is Evolution's Ventus Dragonoid Cubbo, Red Fist, Helix, core lineup, B power of 200 with 5 damage. And then if you land on a Helix, you actually get to steal the opposing Bakugan's Baku core, so potentially good Kubo. Who knows? I mean, someone could probably abuse the effect and make it viable. Not me. I'm just not a fan of the Kubo line. And the part of the Drago head cosplay fell off. But here is the Ventus Dragonoid Kubo. The little hat head does not stay on at all. But here we are. It's just a Kubo. It's just green. And it's just Ventus. Has some manual arms. The final Ventus Bakugan for evolutions is Neo Wrath. So double blue shield, B power of 800 with 3 damage. And it is a shame because I don't think this is Neo Wrath. I actually think it is just like the regular Wrath. But the tall one that has been leaked is the Evo. So maybe this is the Neo. Who knows? I lose track of it. But here it is in Ventus. Really cool design, a really cool figure. Like I said when I was reviewing my darkest one, it really stands out because it is just a very unique mold. Reminds me a lot of Lupithion, the way the arms come out and the way the shoulders are almost. Almost looks like the same arm, at least from the hand. But yeah, really cool Bakugan. And that does it for my entire Ventus collection. Everyone, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the review. And stay tuned for next time when I review my Chaos collection. So until next time, stay safe, drum up, and Bakugan Brawl!